All right, welcome back to my studio. It has been way too long. I'm in between, just got out of school, picked up the younger daughter, came home right before I go pick up the older daughter. I'm trying to get a few decals on some mugs and cups. And so I thought, well, let's make a quick video because if I don't do it now, it'll be March before it happens. So this could be the worst video yet because I'm going to attempt to work and talk at the same time. I've not made a video since boy, this is the first video of the year, I believe. I actually recorded a video about my trimming station back here, just how I made it and why I like it, things like that. So be on the lookout for that. But I haven't done a studio update in quite some time, mostly because there hasn't been a lot going on in the studio. All right, so this is how I make my mat cups. Usually the decal paper slides off a little bit better. I've noticed the batch I just got, I'll leave it in there 20 minutes and I still have to peel it off a little bit. So that is kind of a small issue, but this is the better decal paper that I found. It is much more sturdy, a little bit thicker than the other stuff I've got. And so it goes on there and I can move it around a little bit better, stretch it into place. And so I've been looking for some more. I usually get it on Amazon, but they have been out of the clear laser variety that comes in A4 size for quite some time. So I'm trying to get a little concerned. I just bought a pack of 70 sheets off of eBay, like directly from the manufacturer, which is in South Korea, because I haven't been able to find laser clear decal paper that I like very many places. If you see any that you might think I like, I'll show you the company I've been using is called Decal. We'll get it down there. So Decal laser clear. And I like the A4 size. It's just a little bit longer than the regular letter size, so I can make a little bit longer decals, so I can make wider mugs or cups or whatever. So here's what the process looks like. I mean, the decal comes off the paper. It works pretty well. So I'm just going to go through and squeeze all the water out, try and get all the air bubbles out, and make sure it goes on to the mug in a decent fashion. And so it takes quite a bit of finagling around sometimes, but I feel like in the end, it is worth it. All right, so anyway, studio update. Didn't make a video in January. Not a lot was happening in the studio. I was working on taxes and looking at the year, kind of reviewing the previous year. It looks like I did increase my revenue overall by a little bit from the year before that. So that seems to be a good sign. Taxes, what else was I doing? Oh, I would spend, I don't know, probably almost a week putting together an article and photos and stuff for potterymakinginfo.com about how to glaze pots. I mean, that is a big subject. So I've got a big article on that is up now. Trying to get some Pinterest marketing going for that kind of thing. Just some stuff that I can put up and then hopefully it'll pay off in the future. Overall, I think I do make some ad revenue from that. Not as much anymore, but I mean Google changed some things about how you earn money from ads. But I still get a pretty decent amount. I mean probably at least $100 a year, just for having a website with ads on it and people come to. But the much bigger revenue generator now has been Amazon Associates, that program. So I earn, if I link a product to Amazon with my special link, and people go click on it and then actually buy stuff, I get a very small percent of what they buy, the money they spend, just for pointing them to products that I like or things that'll work well, hopefully. So that has turned out to be a pretty decent revenue generator. So I'm looking at more ways to get into that. And then I'll go through one more time and make sure all the air bubbles are out after it sets on there for a little bit. All right, so yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I've got a couple more things I'll add. I don't know whether you can see that, but that's how I do it. Let's see, over past month or two, I made a couple donations to the local schools, including the school I work at. Donated a couple bigger bowls for the fundraiser, auctions or whatever. And then tried to make a couple big bowls to kind of replace those as they're heading out. I'll talk about that in a little bit, I guess. Sold a few things on Etsy. One thing that made me very happy was I had an order from Florida, just a little small cup. Got that sent out, and then not too long after that, I had another order from the same person, ordering something else. So I felt like that's a good sign. People reordering stuff. I assume that means they liked it. And then just kids, staying busy with stuff. Older daughter is on 7th grade JV team, basketball team. So we've got a couple games each week usually, and that's keeping us busy. I got to go pick her up after practice here in a little bit. The younger daughter has just learned about sewing. My mom actually had an extra sewing machine, so she brought that down and said, "Hey, Reese, you want to learn how to sew?" And Reese said, "Yep, I'll do it." And so she's been up sewing some things, and I've been pretty impressed. I mean, for just picking it up, she's made some little fun things, and they actually look pretty decent. So excited to see where that goes. As far as actually making pots, we had an order. Our local clay organization, I think, got an order from the local county visitor bureau or visitor center or something. I think it was something to do with that. But they wanted, I think, like 5 different artists to each make 5 different steins in bowls. And of course, they'd pay us for them. I think they're going to give them away. So here's what I've got so far. Decal went on pretty nice. You got to get these through the decal firing now, of course. Here's the bowl, what the bowls look like. So I thought it turned out pretty well so far. Got some texture in there. I hope that usually what happens is the iron kind of shows through after the decal firing a little bit more through the kind of the cream colored glaze. So I'm hoping a little bit more iron will show through, just give it a little bit more depth all the way around. But so far I like how it's looking, as long as the decal fire's on there okay. So yeah, that should be a little bit of a little bit more money coming in. Let's see, what else did I have? Seems like I had another order for something. I mean, just like maybe a one-off mug and cup or something. But I've been making just some blank mugs that I can put decals on. So all kinds of map cups finished up here. Get those fired soon. Some different colors, different styles. Did a handful of knife cups. These are actually more popular than you would think, maybe. Apparently, a lot of people collect knives, so that's kind of cool. What else? We got some Mario cups. Classic Mario designs coming. I've got Vitruvian Man. I'll get that one on next. And yeah, I've done a couple glaze firings. I've got still experimenting with some glazes. So I'm hoping to do more of this style. Here's one of the newer glazes that I've tried out. It's got a logo on one side, special event coming up. So yeah, I'm hoping to do more of this kind of stuff. The glaze got a little thick, I think, on this one. A little thicker than I would have liked, but it still looks good. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to tell which one I like more. A little bit thicker with the darker green, a little bit thinner where more of the brown shows through. It's a little bit older looking maybe. I like them both. I think I talked about, donated a couple bigger bowls and trying to make some bigger bowls to replace those in kind of a newer style. So a little bit more texture, along the outside. And unfortunately, I try not to carve away too much at the bottom, trim away too much at the bottom. And I think I left it a little too thick. I think the rim came out a little too thick on this one. So it didn't crack through to the inside, but the bottom, I don't know if you can see, a nice big old crack on there. So I'm not even gonna fire, I'll toss this back in the bucket and recycle it. But so that happened. Very bad news, of course. I got one made that it dried, no cracks. I even preheated it for, I think, almost 190 or so for like an hour, just to make sure it was dry. Put it in the bisque kiln. blew up. Picked up all the pieces, got the head to get that cleaned out. So now I've got one even bigger bowl made up here drying that, I mean, hopefully it can get through the kiln okay. And we'll get it glazed and fired, kind of in the new style with the texture and the different glazes on there. So we'll see. I'm always crossing my fingers. I'm gonna add a little compass rose to the bottom of this mug. It's always a nice little treat when somebody notices something on the bottom. So especially, I mean, when you're drinking, I mean, you can see the bottom, so it's like, oh, it's kind of a nice little surprise you might not be expecting. You know, it's way easier to trim it off nice and flat, have just the bare clay down there, but just a little bit of an extra touch to trim it, glaze the bottom, and put a little design in there. So I'm sure somebody out there appreciates it. I mean, it's not too hard to do the decal. The trimming doesn't take that long either, so just a little bit extra work, but I think it's worth it. And then of course I've got, you know, some surface. I'm still looking for more ideas what I can put on the handle. I've done kind of some rope wrapped around it. I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know, ships or, you know, kind of old school map. What else I could add? Maybe I've got just this kind of compass rose that I put on there sometimes. Just a little something on there to make it more interesting. So I'll keep thinking about that. Hopefully come up with something new. But it looks pretty good. You know, so the big bowl, you can see the big bowl up there drying. Did kind of a cup study. So just trying some different, a little bit different shape. And the texture in there, trying some different things, you know, different proportions, and different feel, just to see, you know, what do I want to make. And I mean, I actually kind of like a set that's not all identical, and all the pieces are a little different. So yeah, we've got a bunch of different cups going up there. We'll get those through the bisque fire here pretty soon. What else have I been doing? Not a lot happening in the studio. I've been getting back to making some stuff. Looking at some events for this year that I can go sell stuff at. Trying to apply for some of that kind of stuff. Yeah, everything going pretty well, I would say. So yeah, as usual, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment. I've got video on the way of my trimming station back here, the wheel that I use for just trimming. I'll have some video of once I get everything finished. I'll have kind of a kiln unloading video. And so be on the lookout for that. Those are always fun. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one.